local businesses to lead 5G solutions development. Malaysia-China deepen business cooperation. Salam Malaysia Madani, I'm Shuhaida Arifin and you're watching Malaysia Tonight. The government wants local businesses to lead the development of enterprise 5G solutions to ensure the country's digital ecosystem is of the highest international standards while elevating the nation's economy. Minister of Communications and Digital Fahmi Fadil said 5G requires the right ecosystem to thrive. To develop a robust ecosystem, he said, there needs to be a concerted effort from corporates, the public sector, technology enablers and connectivity providers by working closely hand in hand to accelerate the adoption of 5G. Speaking on a recorded video speech at CelcomDigi's My 5G conference and tech showcase today, he said with a strong 5G infrastructure, more Malaysians, SMEs or even enterprises across industries can greatly benefit from its efficient foundation for digital services and applications to be developed, stored, distributed and consumed.
While enablers like CelcomDigi and their partners strengthens infrastructure, I strongly encourage all enterprises and SMEs who are the lifeblood of our nation's economy to actively find new solutions, leveraging advanced technologies that will drive the next phase of development for your business, for the industry, for Malaysia.
He said recently GSMA Intelligence identified 5 key components that are required for a digital nation, namely infrastructure, innovation, people, data, governance and security. These key components, he added, are interconnected and must be developed together to avoid potentially costly gaps and delays in the implementation of digital initiatives. Meanwhile, CelcomDigi Berhad Chief Executive Officer Dato' Idham Nawawi said the company has already collaborated with its large enterprise clients to roll out 5G solutions and services. He said they have witnessed through these services how 5G powered solutions and digitalization could benefit every sector of the economy by fundamentally transforming operations and way of work to achieve better productivity and increase efficiency. On CelcomDigi My 5G conference, Dato' Idham said the event saw the participation of 400 leaders and decision makers from 220 companies across 30 industries, which showed the level of interest among Malaysian businesses in their desire to learn about 5G and its potentials. Under Budget 2024, the government has announced various initiatives, including 100 million ringgit digitalization grant that will benefit more than 20,000 SMEs and micro entrepreneurs. Malaysia and China have unveiled the Belt and Road Overseas Venture Incubator BROV to deepen business collaboration between the two countries. The launch was made at the Belt and Road Symposium Malaysia 2023 in Kuala Lumpur, which aims to chart the course towards the collaborative development of Malaysia Madani and Belt and Road Initiative BRI. In his remarks at the launch today, Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Fadilah Yusof said Malaysia has benefited significantly from China's rapid economic growth over the past few decades, making China its largest trading partner.
Both of the concepts in Malaysia Madani and BRI share common goals of achieving comprehensive and sustainable development goals for all people, regardless of race, social class or religion. Likewise, Malaysia and China, with their rich histories and diverse cultures, stand as two nations celebrating common values.
In 2022, Malaysia-China bilateral trade surpassed the $200 billion mark for the first time to hit $203.6 billion. Chinese investments in Malaysia amounted to $12.5 billion in 2022, accounting for 33.9% of Malaysia's total foreign direct investment (FDI). The Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry (MITI) expects foreign direct investment (FDI) from Japan to exceed $30 billion this year, buoyed by continuous support from the Japanese companies. Minister Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul Tunku Abdul Aziz said the private sector in both countries has expressed their confidence over business prospects this year, although the global trade environment is experiencing a slowdown.
So we want to make sure that such collaboration, and we've seen between the private sector, driven by the private sector, and today we see two chambers working together closely. This will create the right environment, the right ecosystem for both investments.
Earlier in his speech when officiating the Malaysian-Japan Economic Dialogue in Kuala Lumpur today, Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul said Malaysia truly values the close and robust economic linkages with Japan, which has been one of Malaysia's important economic partners for the last couple of decades. In fact, he said Japan has been Malaysia's fourth largest trading partner for 8 successive years since 2015. Now, the citizenship application security vetting processing period has been reduced from 73 days to 14 days through the integrated security vetting system launched by the National Registration Department (JPN) today. Home Minister Datuk Seri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail said, with the implementation of the system developed by JPN in collaboration with the Royal Malaysia Police (PDRM), the processing time for an application is more efficient.
Di senarai hitam. Ya. Selalunya permohonan ini JPN kumpul dan JPM hantar kepada polis. Jadi kemudian pihak polis balik semula untuk memberikan status. Kali ini sistem itu membolehkan pemohon itu membuat semakan sendiri. Jadi ini satu lagi saya fikir ke arah sistem penyampaian lebih lengkap.
Speaking to reporters after officiating the department's 75th anniversary celebration in Putrajaya today, Datuk Seri Saifuddin said the system will automatically reject an application if it finds that the applicant is involved with an organisation considered dangerous and a threat to public order and those who overstayed. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim today reminded all government departments not to entertain any letters written in a language other than the national language. In his speech at the opening of the National Language Decade Carnival and National Reading Decade in Cyberjaya, Datuk Seri Anwar noted that there is a tendency by some parties to deny the fundamentals of the Federal Constitution, which requires them to communicate with government departments in national language.
Arahannya ialah siapa saja menulis dalam bahasa selain dari bahasa kebangsaan, surat itu akan dipulangkan. Mengakar ke bumi, pemerkasaan budaya melalui bahasa sastranya, itu sesuatu yang integral dalam pembinaan bangsa. Jadi jangan kita coba remehkan. Dan saya harap peringatan ini diambil kira, kalau tidak arahannya jelas, KPPA pun ada, ya, tidak akan melayani sebarang surat setiap yang disampaikan oleh rakyat tempatan, syarikat tempatan dalam bahasa selain dari bahasa kebangsaan.
The Prime Minister said such an action would not make Malaysia narrow-minded because the government does not undermine the importance of English proficiency. Still ahead, 3 killed as cyclone Hamoon pounds Bangladeshi coast. Bangladeshi authorities have lowered the warning for maritime ports and coastal districts after a cyclonic storm by the Bay of Bengal made landfall, killing at least 3 people and knocking down trees and electricity poles. Cyclone Hamun crossed the Chattogram Cox's Bazar coast in the early hours on Wednesday and weakened into a land depression. The Bangladesh Meteorological Department said in a special weather bulletin issued on Wednesday morning, the storm pounded the southeastern tourist area of Cox's Bazar with a wind speed of 80 kilometers per hour, accompanied by heavy rain. 3 people were killed after trees fell on them during the storm on Tuesday night. The local administration has launched a mission to assess the extent of damage caused by the disaster. Power supply could not be resumed in parts of the district as many electricity poles were knocked down during the storm. The authorities moved some 270,000 coastal residents to safety ahead of the cyclone's landfall, despite the fact that the government planned for the evacuation of nearly 1.5 million people. Now, the medical system across the Gaza Strip has now totally collapsed, as overrun hospitals have just hours of fuel reserves left, according to Palestine Health Minister Mai Al-Khaila on Tuesday. The health official announced that 12 of Gaza's 35 hospitals have completely closed amid the ongoing conflict with Israel. The health minister added the situation has been compounded by dwindling medical supplies, equipment and fuel, with current staff being able to maintain only 30 to 35% of necessary treatment capacity. As of Tuesday, 65 medical workers were killed in the conflict and over 100 have been injured. Many more are unable to reach clinics due to destroyed roads, Al-Khaila said. Medics who are on duty are exhausted from dealing with round-the-clock trauma cases and are working under horrific conditions as supplies are hopelessly stretched. Now, coming up in sports, Ulsan Hyundai emerged winners against JDT in ACL clash. Stay with us.
Liga Super 2023 memburu dominasi di puncak Liga. Serangan terus diledakkan, memecah kebuntuan di setiap perlawanan.
Tiada masalah bagi Ramai Morales meletakkan Kuala Lumpur City di depan.
Jumaat 27 Oktober, PDRM FC bertemu Kuala Lumpur City FC 7.45 malam di saluran OK dan saluran sukan RTM. Saksikan juga secara penstriman langsung di RTM Klik.
Malaysian powerhouse and 2023 Super League champion Johor Darul Takzim JDT suffered a demoralising 1-3 defeat to 10-man Ulsan Hyundai from South Korea in the third Group I AFC Champions League match on Tuesday. In the highly anticipated match played at the Ulsan Munsu Football Stadium, Ulsan Hyundai, who are the 2012 and 2020 champions, punished some poor defending from JDT to score 3 goals within the first 20 minutes. Ulsan Hyundai were, however, reduced to 10-man in the 36th minute when defender Kim Tae-hwan was given the marching orders after a second yellow card offence. Despite playing almost 2/3 of the match with 10 men, JDT failed to take advantage as Ulsan held firmly. JDT scored a consolation goal through Baxenda Silva in the 53rd minute. The defeat was JDT's second in 3 matches after having lost to the opening match 0-1 to Japan's Kawasaki Frontale on 19 September, although the squad managed to regroup by beating Biji Patum from Thailand 4-2 on 3rd October. Stefanos Tsitsipas spoiled the Australian party by knocking Dominic Thiem out of the Vienna Open in the first round on Tuesday. The Greek fourth seed took 2 hours to defeat the Australian 7-6, 6-4 to face track qualifier Thomas Machak in the next round. With the victory, Tsitsipas nudges ahead of Thiem in the career head-to-head, with the Greek now leading 6-5 and having won all 3 of their most recent encounters. It was a high-quality match, one that was worthy of more than a first-round billing. Due to Thiem's current world ranking of 99, however, he entered his home event as a wild card, meaning that a big-name match-up in the first round was always a possibility. Tsitsipas, meanwhile, looked in fine form and was good value for his win, apart from the temporary issues with his forehand towards the end of the first set. He will play Czech qualifier Thomas Mahak in the second round, as the Greek looks to make sure of his place in next month's season-ending ATP Finals in Turin.